You're now watching Because Geek. So this video may feel a bit different from my usual stuff. Since episode 8 became such a huge topic of discussion, I wanted to add my own thoughts to the mix. For a super quick recap, Arya killed the waif and left the House of Black and White like a lot of us predicted. The Hound got his revenge, and it seems like he joined the Brotherhood. Cersei found out that she's not getting a trial by combat. Brienne tried to convince the Blackfish to leave Riverrun and come north to no avail. Jaime retook Riverrun. Tyrion told more awkward jokes while the city began to get attacked, and then Dany walked into the room looking like a mom who just found her kids throwing a house party. First of all, I will say I gave this episode a 5 out of 10. I hope you have seen the scores I have given the show before. I'm not a tough judge. I just really wasn't happy with this one. But I'm not just going to sit here and bash the show for the entire video. I'm going to give you my opinion while being reasonable about it. Let's start with the scene that I have the most to say about, Arya's. Yes, I was one of the people who expected a huge twist here, and I agree that my high expectations were probably the reason why I didn't enjoy the Arya scenes very much. I probably would have thought they were alright if I hadn't spent so much time theorizing. But even friends of mine who watch the show and don't theorize also thought the end to this plotline was pretty weak. And when you get that many people disappointed like that, you know that something wasn't done right. I've had a pretty open mind about it. I've been reading lots and lots of comments and opinions to see if someone saw something I didn't, since my disappointment also blinded me. And I found a few interesting things. First and foremost, it was the fact that Arya didn't have Needle with her because she had a plan. She didn't want to fight the waif outside. She wanted to lure her back to her hiding place, where she would have the advantage over her by being in complete darkness. Because the waif never went through blind training like Arya did. It was even foreshadowed by the waif herself back in episode 1.
Stand and fight, blind girl.
I can't see.
Well, that's your problem, not mine.
And sure, that makes a lot of sense to me, but it still does not justify the lazy writing for how Arya managed to make her plan work in the first place. There were so many more exciting ways they could have written it. They wasted this huge opportunity for an awesome twist that didn't even have to create a butterfly effect. It could have worked perfectly in just one episode. They could have used Bianca's hate for Lady Crane, or even the mystery behind the waif's personal vendetta. They could have made Jaqen have an ulterior motive. They even had the easiest tool at hand, the ability to wear different faces. They could have easily used that in the plot for a twist somehow, but no, all of that was wasted in a completely straightforward plotline where they decided to just focus on the chase scene, which could have still been part of the twist, and it would have actually made more sense to have a non-stabbed Arya doing it. Because yeah, I wanted the twist to be that Arya wasn't the one who got stabbed. And yes, I understand that she had to get stabbed to leave a trail of blood so that the waif could follow her. But man, at least make her character more consistent with what we should expect from Arya at this point. She's gone through so much training already that it doesn't make sense for her to be caught off guard. What would have made more sense would be for Arya to have an open wound because she let the waif cut her on purpose, so that she could leave that trail of blood behind her to lure her back to her hiding place and kill her there, and have that be her plan all along, instead of making it an accident. You see, I'm not even a writer and that's still better than what we got, in my humble opinion. Now, regarding the possibility for Arya to survive everything with those wounds, well, I've read lots on that too. I saw someone reply to a comment on a thread saying that their grandfather fought in a war and got stabbed a lot worse than Arya did. He also rolled down a mountain or something. He even dragged a comrade to help him survive too. He lost a lot of blood and he's still alive today to tell the tale and become a grandfather. Adrenaline is a crazy thing. So, a trained assassin like Arya could have survived that chase, but as a trained assassin, she also got caught off guard and got stabbed. I'm sorry, this inconsistency really bothers me. But then I also read an article where an actual doctor explained if she would have been able to survive, and he made some great points. The stabs would have only killed her if they pierced vital organs, or certain spots in her torso. And it is possible for the waif to not have stabbed her lethally, if maybe she was just a few centimeters off. But if the stabs didn't kill her, it's entirely possible for the dirty waters in the canal to have finished the job by giving her an infection. If by pure luck she didn't get an infection, then we also need to remember that she was drinking milk of the puppy, which would have made her be high as a kite and not be able to control her body enough to run away from the waif. Run away from the waif! Run away from the waif! Why does that sound like a song I've heard before? I'll put a link in the description if you want to read the whole thing, but basically the biggest issue that he had was her not getting an infection. She should have gotten an infection. and she should have died. So if they didn't make her jump into the water, everything would have been fine. I don't have an issue with how believable or not it is, I'm just explaining things here. The other big thing that people complained about was the fact that Arya's episodes in the House of Black and White seemed to have been pointless and a waste of time, because she didn't get anything from them. But I invite you to listen to this new theory shared to me by the awesome Dasha Yu. According to this theory, Arya did complete her training to become no one. Dasha believes that she is no longer Arya because before she left the House of Black and White, she said to Jaqen, "A girl is Arya Stark of Winterfell," instead of saying, "I am Arya Stark of Winterfell." That line was very important. It means that Arya has, in a way, been freed from herself. Now that she's truly no one, she can choose to play Arya, but also she can play any other role whenever she needs to. Dasha gave me a lot more details, but that is basically it. Arya completed the training that she was meant to complete, and it was made known to the viewers when she said "a girl" instead of "I am." My question now is, will David and Dan put this new skill to good use in the future? I hope so, but you know. I still need to point out that while I think this theory is really clever, I also think that Dasha may be giving David and Dan a bit too much credit. I think that if they had included that line in there for a specific reason, they could have said something in there inside the episode series, which is the best opportunity they have to make themselves sound like they actually put a lot of thought into things and reveal all these hidden meanings to the viewers. But they never mention anything like that. They always just end up giving a pretty straightforward explanation of the episode without giving us any real insight. In this case, they just said,
Arya finally tells us something that we've kind of known all along, that she's not no one, she's Arya Stark of Winterfell.
So this is what makes me think that "a girl is Arya Stark" was either a random choice of words, or maybe David and Dan did not write that line and it was a clever hidden message that the scriptwriter decided to include, and didn't properly communicate that with David and Dan. This video may not be an analysis, but I still wanted to quickly point out that there was a bit of foreshadowing when Arya asked Lady Crane what happened to Bianca, the girl who wanted her dead, and Lady Crane says that it won't be easy for her to find an acting job after what she did to her face. You could say the same about Arya. There is a girl who wants her dead too, the waif, and she does end up doing something pretty bad to her face. A good example of a book plot deviation done with better writing was the Hound scene. Sure, it was a bit disappointing to not have a Brotherhood without banners turn to the dark side because of Lady Stoneheart, and instead it being just a few members gone rogue, but it was still, in my opinion, a very good scene. It's also an example of comedy relief done right instead of feeling forced like the Tyrion scenes. The Hound's lines were funny and also some of the best lines in the episode. I really enjoyed the exchange between Bronn and Podrick. That was really good too. I would say the Hound and Bronn saved the episode for me. The Jaime scenes were alright. I loved how they showed more of that tension between him and Brienne again, and the scene with Edmure had a very good script and was performed really well. I just thought the whole siege thing could have been more exciting with maybe a bit more blood. I understand that it was part of Jaime's character development though. He's not a complete douche anymore and he actually cares more about people, but it still felt a bit anticlimactic. I feel like George R.R. Martin could have written the same story with the same end result in a much more interesting way. Now, I've gotta say that unfortunately, Dany's entrance felt pretty anticlimactic too. And why is she so pissed? What did she expect? Every time she leaves one of these cities, the slavers retake it. It has happened before. There was a pretty good chance it was going to happen again now that she wasn't around anymore. It's not their fault. I would have actually preferred to see her with a smile on her face, being like, "Don't worry guys, the Mother of Dragons is back to save you. I knew you'd need me." But who am I to say? Cersei, we should have seen that coming. I mean, she was talking about that trial by combat way too much. But to all of you who think Cleganebowl is dead, stop thinking that way. Have you not realized which group the Hound just joined? The Brotherhood Without Banner's main purpose from the moment Ned sent Lord Beric Dondarrion away from King's Landing has been to kill the Mountain.
I charge you to bring the King's justice to the false knight Gregor Clegane and all those who shared in his crimes. I denounce him and attaint him. I strip him of all ranks and titles, of all lands and holdings, and sentence him to death.
And they've been meaning to fulfill that order ever since. I think the Hound is in a perfect spot for a Cleganebowl now. Maybe not this season, but there's still hope, guys. There's so much to talk about in so little time. Like, where's Arya going? Or what were the whispers that Qyburn heard? Were they about wildfire? How did Varys leave Meereen with such perfect suspicious timing? Is the Brotherhood Without Banners going north? Were they talking about the White Walkers? And lots more. If they don't get resolved by the end of the season, I will continue to make videos after the season is over to go over all of these things. And speaking of things getting resolved, there's still so many scenes we haven't seen yet, and there's only 2 episodes left. I'm actually looking forward to seeing how they fit it all in because I have no idea how they're gonna do that. But as always, leave a like if you like this video, it helps a lot. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one!